Hi there, my name's Bill and I'm the Naked Restorer. I'm the Naked Restorer for the simple reason that I don't hide anything. Everything's out in the open. The mistakes are made, mistakes are rectified, and it's all part and parcel of the restoration game. It's a learning curve. Been restoring rods now for about 5 or 6 years, and I'm still learning. You make obvious mistakes, schoolboy errors, but like I say, it's all part of the learning curve. And, at least if you can see me making mistakes, or the mistakes I've made in the past, most of them have been recorded, and I'll show them from time to time how not to do something. It makes you feel better if you realise it's more or less everyone does them at some point or other, you know. So the first rod I'm going to restore on video. I have done others in the past, haven't published them yet because the recording quality wasn't really up to it. That's the side of things I've got to still learn about. But I'd like to get one or two on and just introduce myself. The first rod I'm going to attempt, be dropping on and off, is a Millwoods Flymaster, 1960s rod, in pretty good straight condition. So not the ideal rod to show you how to straighten rods, but that I have got videos of, you know, that side of things separately, which I can cut in at times. This particular one, it's tied in a yellow and black flecked thread. I'm going to use white because, believe it or not, the specification for the 1960s, when this rod was built, says that's what it was, speckled black and white whippings. This has got speckled yellow and black whippings. I think they may have actually been redone, and I've got a feeling this one here, with the agate ring, was one of the original whippings, and I'm going to get the varnish off that, and I think we'll find that that's actually a black and white thread. So there you go. This is the one we're going to start with, and I'm going to start by taking the rings off. The whole rod's going to be stripped right back because it's all cracking. I don't know if you can, the varnish is all cracked and it looks like crocodile skin, but it's a reasonably straight rod. It's very straight, and the cork handles got no damage whatsoever. That'll clean up very nicely. The Flymaster logo is a bit damaged, but we're going to try and leave what we can of that on. I believe there are, if you look hard enough, transfers available for these rods, and if I can get a replacement transfer, I would put it on. Otherwise, I'd leave what I could of the old Flymaster label on, because it's actually there. I don't know if you can see it very well from this video. It's readable, and it says all the letters are there: Flymaster, Millwoods Flymaster, and it won't look too bad once it's revarnished, and it's going to be very, very finicky to get round that and restore it correctly. But if a thing's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And I've found over the years, if I'm not happy with something, I'm not happy with a whipping, or just take it off and do it again, because you'll always want to go back to it. At some point you're gonna go back to it and redo it because you're not happy with it, and it doesn't leave you with a satisfied feeling if you know something's not perfect, or as perfect as you can get it. So that's a start. And like I say, the best tool I ever bought, scraper, paint scraper, got it from the local Chinese. shop. We have these Chinese shops in Spain. This is where I live, and they, sell all the cheap stuff. That's probably came in a set. It did come in a set. It came in a set. It was I think €2 for about 4 or 5 of them of various sizes. This is the one I seem to use all the time. It's perfect for taking varnish off, and it's it's the right tool for the job. You obviously use various knives. These are all my really sharp little knives. Razor blade in a holder I've found, but you can buy them in these and other holders which I haven't got to hand, which I should have. But Stanley knife blades, always be careful with Stanley knife blades. I was an electrician for years, and I never used a sharp Stanley knife blade. If I had, I think I'd have cut my fingers off, so I always made sure there was a blunt blade in my Stanley knife. The other tools that you'll find, heat gun, find really useful, and the old Dremel. Actually use the Dremel more now than I ever thought I would. I've had this Dremel for something like 30 years, and first 20 years I never used the thing, but use it all the time now. Very handy. So that's enough to be getting on with. I'll come back shortly after I've taken the rings off, or started taking the rings off. I'll start, and then I'll cut in after I've taken them all off. I'll show you briefly how to just take a ring off. But it's not rocket science. Actually do one now. This is the main one. I've been itching to get this off just to see if it is white thread under there. So we'll start by going in. If I can just adjust the camera slightly. We start by going in under the flat part of the eye, and just gently score it, just gently. We don't want to go into the cane, but it's actually coming off really easily. And go from this side into the middle. That's to take your time with these. If you try too hard, what can happen is you just end up stripping the rod, taking a sliver of cane off the rod. Right, let's go. Let's see. So that's the agate eye. That can be reused. It's clean. It'll clean up. I have gone to the extent of electroplating old rings, but I haven't had a great deal of success. I prefer to look for them from new. Now that's difficult to actually tell, but I think that's black and white, and that's an original wrapping. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks to me black and white. Probably can't see in focus. The yellow and white ones are pretty obvious. And I think these have been redone at some point in history. It's not a fantastically old rod. It's 1960s, but still 83-year-old or thereabouts. I have got rods which are a lot older. The rod I started, which got me into restoring, actually was one I bought in a second-hand shop in Harlech, Wales. It was dated 1898, and it's got an inscription on from Frida to W. Scott, and it was June 1898. So indisputable evidence. It was owned by someone in those years, and it was made by J.A. Warner from Redditch. And I haven't come across an awful lot of his rods in the last few years. I do a lot of research into old rods, and I certainly haven't come across many J. Warner rods. I don't think they're particularly rare, but in the 4 or 5 years I've been researching them, I can't actually say. I think mine's the only one I've ever seen, to be honest. But there, it's a rod I'll never part with. It's just I restored it from. It was in an atrocious condition when I bought it. I paid 40 quid for it. It was far too much in those days. I think I bought it 30 or 40 years ago, and it stayed in a tube. I don't even know why I bought it. But I was a keen fisherman at the time, but I'd never used a cane rod, never seen a cane rod, never handled one. But, something attracted me to it. I think it was the age and the inscription on the handle. And I got it out 30 years later and decided to start doing this, and it's been a hobby of mine ever since. And now I also do research for a book, and I'm hopefully going to put all of this research out to good use. I've got a publisher who's sort of encouraging me, although they've never offered us any money yet, but they're encouraging me to pursue this particular book. Anyway, it's enough for that for now. I'll start taking these rings off and the rod guides, and then I'll do a demonstration of how to strip the varnish. Again, not rocket science, but it's best to do it. There is a right and a wrong way of doing it, and you can come a cropper with the fine tips if you go in the wrong direction. Best always to go uphill. Something to remember. Okay, that's all for now. We'll continue with it shortly. See how this goes. I think excuse me, all of these rings apart from the agate ring are going to have to be new ones. That first one actually isn't bad. That one is probably going to be reusable. The rest of them are all rusty, and they can be actually cleaned using a process of like I say, electroplating. You put them in an acid bath, take the rust off, and then electroplate them in another in a bath of vinegar and stuff. But I've never had great success with it, and it's very fiddly. Up to now, I've always been able to find the new stuff or old stuff that's in very good condition. But I never throw anything away. I never ever throw any rings away or anything. Who's to say that I won't master the art of the electroplating in the future? It looks very easy when you see it done on the YouTube videos, but fiddly things like this, well, I've never mastered it yet, and I've tried it a few times. Okay, that's all for now, folks. Shortly we'll be back on and doing a video on scraping the rod, getting all the varnish off. Bye for now.